So we divide each of those by 5. What's 10x squared divided by 5?
2x squared.
Negative 25x divided by 5.
Negative 5x.
You know it. 35 divided by 5.
7.
That's it. That's all you can do on that. I'm going to wear chicken dinner. Not that big a deal. Okay there? Easy schmeezy. Alright, going to add one that we're dividing also by variables, so we got to practice on our power rules that we looked at last week, but it's not bad, Michael. It's pretty easy also. Alright, so then we'll move on into that. I got 6a squared b to the 4th. Then I got minus 9a cubed b cubed. And then I've got plus 4a cubed b to the 4th, all divided by, I know it, a cubed b to the 4th. It's 4. Yeah, and a's and b's and whew. Alright, the good thing about all this, because it is a big jumbled up mess looking up there, the good thing about it all is the coefficient, meaning the number that we're divided by on the bottom, is 1. Okay, yeah, there's some variables down there, I get that, but this is 1a cubed b to the 4th, which means these coefficients won't change, right? Because we're dividing those by 1. Variables are a different story, but coefficients are going to stay 1. So if I had 6 divided by 1, that's going to be 6. Now here's where those power rules that we learned last week come into play. I got an a squared divided by an a cubed. What do you do with powers when it's division?
Subtract.
Good. So 2 minus 3?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Now we know we can't leave a negative exponent, but we'll deal with that later. Just write it down for now and we'll fix it later. Hey, what about a b to the 4th divided by a b to the 4th?
Goes away.
Okay, 4 minus 4 is 0. And what's anything to the 0 power?
1.
1. Good job. Y'all remember that good. And 6 times 1 stays 6. So like Kaylee said, just cancels out. Goes away. Good job. We're good on the first term. Moving on to the second.
You don't put a b?
Nope, because the whole thing is just 1. Good question on that, Mr. Gibson. All right, moving on to the next one. Minus, we know the 9's going to stay because 9 divided by 1. A cubed divided by a cubed. It's the same scenario that we just had on the b's, isn't it? Because cubed over cubed is 0, which is anything to the 0 power is 1. What about b cubed over b to the 4th?
Negative 1.
B to the negative 1. Good. Okay, 4 divided by 1. Good. Hey, these are all exactly the same. So they just all...
Where did you get the negative?
Oh, I got you. Thank you, Caleb. Caleb's fixing it. Whoever's back there saying it too. That 3 minus 4 was negative 1. Tracer, whoever that was. Alright. A cubed divided by a cubed cancels, and b to the 4th divided by b to the 4th, that cancels. Okay, do y'all get that? I mean, I feel like you do. If you had a cubed, that's a times a times a. If you had that on top and bottom, can't write today. Right? We okay on that? Alright, now we got negative powers that we got to deal with. What was the rule when we had negative powers? Very good. You put it on the bottom and make it positive. What we're dealing with on this, though, does this negative 1 go to the 6 and the a, or just the a? Good. So the 6 is going to stay on top, and then we'll just put the a to the 1st on bottom. So 6 over a to the 1st. Same thing here. The negative 1's only on the b. It's not on the 9. So minus 9 over b to the 1st plus 4. Not too bad. Alright, so we can divide a polynomial by a monomial. Now we got to divide by binomials next. This is stuff we did a lot of in Algebra 2, so it'll start coming back to you as we do it. We're going to look the first couple of times at both methods. Do you remember any of the division methods? One of them you learned in middle school, long division. Just gets more fun because we got letters with it now. The other one was synthetic. Okay, synthetic's my favorite. I'll choose synthetic division when I can, but it won't work every time. Long division will. So you got to know long division even if you don't like it, because it works more often than synthetic. And I'll tell you when and why. Alright, let's do 2k squared plus 17k plus 30. And we're going to divide that by k plus 6. Alright, so I'm going to use both methods and work the same problem just to show you we get the same answer either method we choose. Synthetic division will work on this one because what I'm dividing by has a degree of 1 and a leading coefficient of 1. When you're dividing by something that has a degree of 1 and a leading coefficient of 1, you can use synthetic division. Otherwise, you got to do long division. If this was squared, whatever, you got to do long division, okay? We'll do long division first. So I'm going to write what I'm dividing by. Remember this? Now, I did not have to put any placeholders in there, any zeros in there. Whatever your degree is, you got to have every power underneath that. So this has got a degree of 2, so I've got 2, 1, constant. If it's missing one of them, you got to throw a 0 in there for it. And we'll see that in a minute. All right, this long division party gets started by saying k times what equals 2k squared. Just worry about the first one outside and the first one inside. What is it, Caleb?
2k.
2k. So we put a 2k on the top. Now that 2k that we put up there, we distribute it times both of these and line it up underneath. So we got 2k times k. That was the whole point, to make those the same, so they'll go away in a minute. 2k times 6. What operation do I do when I draw that line? Same one you did in middle school.
Subtraction.
Subtracting. 2k squared minus 2k squared is nothing. He gone 17k minus 12k. 5k. What do you do now?
Bring down to 30.
Bring down. Good job, Hayden. Okay. Now you start the process over again. I go back to my first one outside. K times what gives me 5k? 5. So we put plus 5 up there on the top. Now we distribute that 5 to both of those. 5 times k. 5 times 6. This one's nice and friendly because when you subtract those, there's nothing left over. We don't have any remainder. So our answer is just 2k plus 5. We're going to see some in a minute where we got a remainder. Did y'all notice that green and blue made red right there? So I'm the only one that saw that. That was weird to me. Are green and blue supposed to make red? Y'all are the art people. No? Does on a smart board.
Green and blue.
Green and blue make yellow? No?
No.
Red, blue, and yellow should probably be
Blue,
I don't
yellow
know.
makes green.
Green and blue. I don't know.
Yellow and blue make green.
That,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yellow.
I'm thinking of those Ziploc baggies that do that. Y'all know? I guess. Alright, let's, y'all don't use those Ziploc baggies that, okay.
It was entertaining how you learned how to use on the actual end of the thing you were using the back of it. Yeah, I was watching that the entire time.
When I did the highlight.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to use the same problem here. 2k squared plus 17k plus 30. Was that what it was? Let me double check. Yep, divided by k plus 6. Alright, we're going to do synthetic division this time. Reason most of us like synthetic division better is because it doesn't use the variables. Just worried about the coefficients. Synthetic division is the one where the box is upside down. Does that ring a bell yet? All we fill in that box now are our coefficients. 2 on the k squared. Leave a little space underneath it. 17 on the k to the first and 30 for my constant. Then what I put outside the box, I take what I'm dividing by, set it equal to 0, and solve. So outside the box is going to be a negative 6. Okay? Coming back yet? A couple of you say yeah. Starts off by dropping your first number all the way out of the box, and that'll be how you start every time. All you do from here on out is multiply, add, until you get to the end of the box. Multiply what's outside, 2 times negative 6. Put that underneath the next available number we haven't used yet. Okay, 2 times negative 6 is negative 12 multiplied. Now we're adding. 17 negative 12 is 5. Now we multiply. 5 times negative 6 is negative 30. Now we add. 30 and negative 30 is nothing. Okay, so you're done with the synthetic division. That was way faster than the long division. You just got to know how to write your answer out of that now, because where the variables go. It started off as 2k squared. We divided it by a k. K squared divided by k is k, right? So my first number here will be a k. It'll always be 1 power less than what you started with. This started off as a 2k squared. So 1 power less, 2k the first, and then they descend from there. So 2k the first, constant. What's this space for if we ever have a number there? Remainder. Very good, Rachel. We didn't have one. That's why there was a 0. So 2k plus 5. 2k plus 5. Same answer. I prefer this one, but like I said earlier, this one don't work every single time. You killed a bug. It was just wanting to learn how to divide. No, it should have fed it to Kevin. Who?
Oh, his name is Cletus in here.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
Fed it to Cletus. He's gonna get confused with his multiple identities. He's gonna need counseling.
Probably brain dead. It's been upside down for like a week now.
I don't know what he did on the weekend.
There's a lot
Just
of
hung
blood
out.
in there.
Thanks, Hayden. How about 4x cubed plus 3x minus 8.
We don't come in here.
You hope poo don't come in here?
It says that rubber ducky.
Is it pet rubber ducky?
Yeah.
Should we be concerned about that?
No, it's okay. It's over the weekend.
Alright, I got 4x cubed plus 3x minus 8 divided by x plus 2. Reason I chose this one for us is because there needs to be a 0 added. The degree of this trinomial is 3, so that means I got to have a 3, 2, 1, and constant. It does not have a squared. So regardless of which method you choose, synthetic or long division, you're going to have to add a 0 in that squared spot. Okay? Alright, so Caitlin, do you want to do this one using long division or synthetic division? Synthetic. Okay, and that'll work because this is a 1x to the first power. So she chose synthetic. That's the way we're doing it. 4x cubed, 0x squared, 3x negative 8. Some people this morning were just putting positives in there every time. If it's got a minus sign in front of it, you got to put a negative. Alright, then what's going to go outside Caitlin's box? Good, Grace. Negative 2. Because you take this, set it equal to 0 and solve, you would have to subtract 2. So it would be negative 2.
Okay, now.
Alright, so we're going to drop our 4, right, Mason? Mm-hmm. Now we just multiply and add all the way to the end. What's 4 times negative 2? Negative 8 plus 0.
Negative 8.
Y'all paused on that. Negative 8 times negative 2.
16.
16 plus 3. That's right, 19. 19 times negative 2.
I'm going to have to use the calculator.
Negative 28.
Close.
Negative 38.
38.
30.
Oh, so I'm going to have a remainder this time, aren't I? Add those, you get negative 46. Okay? That's okay. We can have a remainder. You got to learn how to remember how to write it. This started off as a 4x cubed, so what's my 4?
4x.
Good, Hayden. We got 4x squared minus 8x plus 19. My remainder's a negative, so I'm going to minus my remainder over what you divided by. Remember when you were a little tot, you got to put a capital R? You don't get to do
that's what I
that
was hoping we
anymore.
were going to do.
No. You got to look all fancy now. Sorry.
It's not a little R, it's a big R.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I write small.
You write a big R small. That's,
Wow.
I don't know. It's enough to mess my mind up.
So is this the one that you can do every time or just
No.
you can't?
So now we're going to do another one, long division, so we can practice on that one more time. Alright, this one I got says 4m to the 4th minus 23m cubed plus 16m squared minus 4m minus 1. We're dividing that by, this is a long one, m squared minus 5m. Alright. This was just talking to Mason about. I know I have to do the long division on this. Even if Caitlin picks synthetic, synthetic will not work because our degree on what we're dividing by is 2. We're dividing by an m squared, so we have to do long division. Alright, so let's check my stuff inside the box. Got a degree of 4. That means I got to have a 4, 3, 2, 1, and constant. Do I need any zeros? 4, 3, 2, 1, constant. It's good there, right? So let's write that in my box. Alright, outside the box, you also have to have all the appropriate powers. So this is a squared, a degree 2 means I need a 2, 1, and a constant. Do I need any zeros outside?
Yes.
Good. I got a 2 and 1. I got to put a 0 in that constant spot. So I'm going to have m squared minus 5m plus 0. Alright, so we start off m squared, ooh, that was skinny there, times what is 4m to the 4th?
Did you use the big end just now?
Yeah,
You
but I
got it.
picked, yeah.
Oh, that's
I
fine.
didn't know I did it first. M squared times what is 4m to the 4th?
4m squared.
4m squared. So we're going to put 4m squared. Now, I did this morning, and people started hollering about why I put it way down there at the end. Whatever teacher taught me to do this told me I had to line them up over their like terms. But you really don't. I just believed it, and I've always done it that way since then. I could have put this way down here and still get the same answer. So if that bothers you about where, that's just because I was taught that way, and habit has...
Put it over your shoulder.
Yeah, so, alright, when we distribute this now, we got 3 pieces to distribute it to. Luckily, 0 is going to be a 0, but we still have to do that because that keeps our like terms lined up. Okay, so 4m squared times m squared, 4m to the 4th, 4m squared times negative 5m, negative 20m cubed, 4m squared times 0 is 0, but I'm going to put a 0m squared so that I've got my like terms lined up. Do we add now? It was multiply, add on the synthetic division.
Subtract.
Subtract on long division. Good job. One way somebody in Algebra 2, when we did this not long ago, said everything's the opposite. Your box is upside down, so instead of adding, you subtract. You do the opposite on that. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Alright, 4m to the 4th minus 4m to the 4th. Nothing. He gone. That's the point in that. Negative 23m cubed minus negative 20m cubed. Negative 3. Good, Grace. 16m squared minus no m squareds is still a positive 16m squareds. Alright, what am I going to bring down now? Do I bring them both or just one?
Both.
Just one.
Just one.
Okay, I'm going to bring down just one of them now. I'll have to bring down the minus 1 later. My rule on that, I got to have the same amount of terms down here as I have out here. Okay, so if I'd have brought that 1 down, I'd have had too many down here, right? So it's going to be, that tells me that I'm still going to have a whole nother level of this in a minute because I'm going to have to bring that down eventually. Okay, so we start our process over again. M squared times what is negative 3m cubed? Negative 3m. Distribute that to all 3 of those. Negative 3m cubed plus 15m squared plus 0m. Subtract. Negative 3m cubed minus negative 3m. Nope. Did you get that? Ha! Negative 3m cubed minus negative 3m cubed. It's nothing. That's exactly what I said. 16m squared minus 15m squared. 1m squared. Aiden is correct. Negative 4m minus 0. negative 4m. Okay. Now we're ready to invite negative 1 down to our party. And so I like this because when I ask myself m squared times what gets me m squared? 1. That's just a 1. And 1s are easy to distribute, aren't they? So we got a plus 1 times m squared is m squared. 1 times negative 5m. And 1 times 0. But you'd like to be able to see that a little better, huh? Hey, m squared minus m squared is nothing. Negative 4m minus negative 5m. Positive 1m. Negative 1 minus 0. So what is that? M minus 1. What does that classify as? There's nothing left to bring down, so I'm done dividing. So that's your remainder. Got a binomial as a remainder. So to write our answer on this, I got what I had up there on top. Oops, can't hold on and write at the same time, I guess. 4m squared minus 3m plus 1. Then my remainder over what I divided by. Good times, great oldies. Cool 95. He was keeping the beat there, and I was going with him, and then he just stopped. Alright, we alright on that? Fix let you try one on your own. You can choose any method you want. Give you an easy one to start with. Y squared plus 3y minus 18 divided by y plus 6. Try that one. Go. You can use either method, synthetic or long division. Either one will work. Alright.
Are we having an exercise question today?
I'm fixing to check. I don't remember if I am or not. I'm fixing to check. Seems like I am, but I don't remember for sure.
What do you mean you don't remember?
Well, I have my Algebra 2 classes are all in a lump, and then Algebra 1 is first and sixth, and I can't always remember what I did. You know, I get in Algebra 2 mode, and I forget it's back Algebra 3. No, we're probably not having one. I thought we did, but we didn't.
We don't have to use any zeros on this one, right? Like,
No, this one's ready to rock like it is. Get us the answer in my head again. Don't. This is nice job. As long as it's
I like to do one that I had to guess.
so you know how to work. Yeah, I can.
I remember how to work.
Right, makes sense to me. There were a couple that said that same thing in first period, so it makes sense to me. All right, so we ready? Caleb, long division or synthetic division? Okay, good. That's what Grace did also. Anybody do synthetic? Okay, got a couple, so we got some doing both. If I were working this, I actually would factor it, but I didn't give y'all that choice. This is factorable. Reason y'all can now know that it's factorable, didn't you get a 0 in the remainder spot? Which means it went into it evenly, which means that's a factor, but we weren't factoring today, so y'all didn't think of that. That's okay. I'm going to do long since I picked on Caleb, and that's what he chose. You did synthetic. As long as we don't mess up, we'll still get the same answer. It's okay. Didn't need zeros. Somebody asked me that. All right, y times what gets me y squared? Y. So we just put a y up there. Distribute it to both of these. It's y squared plus 6y. Subtract nothing. What's 3y minus 6y? Negative 3y. Bring down my negative 18. Y times what gets me negative 3y?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. Negative 3 times y is negative 3y. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. I got nothing left over. How'd you synthetic people do? Did you get it? Y minus 3. Good, 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 good. One more, one more, one more. Done? Alright. Stepping it up a notch here. X squared plus 11x plus 16 divided by x plus 8. Okay, try that one. X squared plus 11x plus 16 divided by x plus 8. This one does have a remainder, so don't think you screwed up if you get a remainder. You should. We need another minute. Good, 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 good. Alright, since I did the last one long division, I'm going to do this one synthetic. That's the way Mason's working on it, so we can check Mason out. I got a 1x squared, an 11x, and a 16. What does Mason have to put outside his box? Negative 8. Good job. Drops is 1. 1 times negative 8 is negative 8. Now Mason's adding, because we're synthetic division. 11 and negative 8 is 3. That's 3. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. What's 16 and negative 24?
Negative 8.
Negative 8. We're done. It started off as an x squared, so my answer is an x to the first. So I got a 1x to the first, a positive 3. My remainder over what I divided by.
You can't simplify that, can you?
No, it'd have to be the whole thing or nothing on that.
Okay.
Good question. Good? Let's see what you got wrong there. I might have messed it up.
I got what you got.
What's negative? What have you
I
done?
have no idea what I did.
It's-
Oh, I know what I did.
I'm glad because I couldn't figure it out. Alright. That's it on this whole unit. So tomorrow we're going to start reviewing, and then we'll have a test on Thursday. Okay? So polynomials, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. And those the functions where we plug stuff in too. Okay? Good deal. Did you get it that time, Mason?
Yeah, I dropped the one down to right here. And then
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no extra question today. I didn't do one this morning. Yeah, just sign out.